Nicole from A Little Twisted Yoga Studio, and in this video I'd like to go through a kind of a short abbreviated yoga class so that you can have an idea of the flow of a class from beginning to end. Now I will tell you that every class is different, every instructor is different, but you will see some similarities. Typically a class is going to begin with some sort of introduction, whether it's about the instructor, about the class, about things that are going on. There will usually be some sort of short conversation in the beginning. If there is something that you are needing for that class, your instructor will tell you that this is the time for you to go and get that. And if you're in a live class setting, this would be the ideal time to let your instructor know if you have any injuries going on that they need to be aware of. Some instructors will start you seated like this. Some will start you seated like this. And some will have you laying down in a Shavasana pose to connect with your breath. That's typically what this part of the class is for, is to let go of whatever you had going on before class, connect with your breath, get in touch with your body, and prepare to start your class. Now if you're in a gentle class, you will have, typically speaking, a lot of time on the mat. You'll either be laying down or you'll be sitting down. There will possibly be some standing postures, but not necessarily. If you're in most other classes, you'll probably spend a good amount of time standing as well. So in a nice easy seat, Sukhasana they'll call it, or Indian style, you can have your hands palms facing down or hands palms facing up, closing your eyes, inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your nose. Now as you're breathing, you may notice that different instructors will instruct you to focus on your breath in different ways. They may call it pranayama. And each one serves a different purpose, and there's so many different ways that you can do a breathing exercise prior to class starting that we could spend a whole hour just talking about that. So just follow your instructor's guidance and breathe the way that they're instructing you to breathe. Your instructor may ask you if you want to set an intention. This is not something that you're verbalizing to everyone else. It's something that you're just keeping kind of to yourself. They may even say if you want to dedicate this practice to someone, if there's someone that's on your mind, that can be a little bit like a moving prayer, if you will. Again, these aren't necessarily things that you are sharing out loud in class. These are just things that you're kind of thinking of to yourself or kind of keeping to yourself. There's usually some sort of movement, warming up your shoulders or your neck, rolling your ear from side to side, your neck from side to side. Maybe inhaling your arms up or exhaling, folding down, coming on back up. I would like to remind you and encourage you that a lot of times we are inhaling on the expansion, exhaling on the closure, inhaling on the open, exhaling on the contraction. You're not going to get in trouble if you don't get that right. That's okay. It takes a lot of time, and that's fine. The most important thing is that you're breathing. If you find yourself holding your breath, which a lot of times we do when we're learning something new, just let it go. It's okay. If you find that you are exhaling on your arms going up and inhaling on the arms going down, no one's going to die. You're going to be okay. It's just fine. You'll catch up. You'll find the flow. We're encouraging you for maybe what we feel is the optimal way to do it. But when you're just getting started, it can be very stressful to try to follow all of the steps and do all of the things right. Just breathe. You're going to be okay. So from floor work, you could be laying down on the mat. I also want to remind you that there are hundreds of yoga postures and hundreds of variations of those yoga postures. There's no way for me to show you them all, and I have no intention of doing so. I just want to give you an idea of some things that might be familiar when you get to a class. Laying down on your back, arms down by your side, knees are bent. Maybe start shifting your knees a little bit side to side. here a little bit. You can extend your left leg long, hug your right knee in, and then switch sides. You may have your instructor tell you to lower your leg down to the mat, take your right hand on your left knee and gently take your left knee across your body towards the right side. Now these are all just guidance. We're not necessarily telling you to take your left knee all the way to the floor. That might not be the best thing for your body today. You go to the place where it feels like it's a good stretch, but it's not painful. In most classes, I don't want to say every single class, but in our classes here, we believe that there is no pose worth pain. Coming back to center. Now, when you're doing movements like this, you want to engage your core. Pull your belly button in towards your spine and allow the muscles of your abdomen and your lower back to do a lot of the work so it can support your spine. Extending your left leg straight, hugging your right knee in. Maybe taking your right arm out to the side, left hand on your right knee, and gently guide it across your body to the left side. And unwind. Maybe knees up to center. A lot of times they'll say bring your soles of your feet together and take your knees open. If your hips are really tight, your knees are going to be right here, and that's okay. That's where you stay. That's where you start. You can hold on to your ankles, maybe even taking your elbows, pressing them into your inner thighs to press your knees open to help stretch open those inner thigh muscles. There's also a posture called happy baby, or sometimes they call it dead bug. You hold on to the outside of your feet, maybe wrap your fingers around your big toes. You can also just hug the back of your thighs and you rock side to side like a baby that's just found his feet. Bringing your feet back together down towards the mat. Maybe coming up to a seated position. I'm going to turn this way just so that you can see me a little bit better. Left leg straight, right knee bent, right foot to the inside of the left inner thigh. Inhale your arms up nice and tall. Exhale, fold forward towards your leg. Now if you notice, I can't lay flat against that leg. My body's just a little too tight. You can bend that left knee. You can also hold on up here instead of reaching towards your toes if that's not available to you. You want to try to keep your back as straight as you can. This would also be a great place to use a strap around your foot or a tie or a belt or something as an extension here. Trying to keep your back straight, reaching towards your leg. When you get about as far as you can go, then you can start to lower your head towards your leg or maybe slowly start to straighten that leg. And then slowly come back up to center. In yoga, we're trying to find balance in our body, and it's not unusual for one side of your body to feel more tight than the other. It's just kind of the way that we live, and being more tight on one side can be a little diagnostic of where you need to spend a little more time stretching. So since we did that to the right leg, we want to make sure we do this to the left leg as well. Inhaling your arms up, trying to keep your back as straight as you can for as long as you can. Reach with your fingertips, bend your knee if you need to. Bring your hands down. When you get as far as you can go, slowly bring your head down towards your knee. And then slowly come on up. I'd like to show you a couple of standing postures so that you can get familiar with some of those. When you're in a standing posture, a lot of times we'll start at the top of the mat. Inhale your arms up nice and tall. Exhale, forward fold. You can bend your knees. Bring your hands towards the ground. Let your head hang nice and heavy. Hands towards your shins, coming up into a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Reverse swan dive. All the way up. Hands down towards your heart. There are a lot of different ways to get into a warrior pose. And a warrior pose can be a very, very challenging pose for a lot of us. So your instructor will find their way to get you there. This may not be the way that they get you there, but I just want to show you it as an example. So your right foot stays up here, your left foot goes to the back. The distance is going to be different for everyone depending on what's going on with your legs. But you kind of want your foot to be back there, and your leg is straight and strong. Your right knee is bent, reaching over towards the pinky toe just a little bit. You can still see your foot. You just want to try not to have your knee in too far one side, out too far on the other side. You're trying to put pressure on the outside of your left foot, the blade of your foot there. Imagine that you're trying to get your pinky toe on the mat. Float your arms up and relax your shoulders. Your right fingers are reaching forward with the same effort that your left fingers are reaching back. Try to pull your belly button in towards your spine. You're looking down your right arm here, down towards your fingertips. Don't forget to breathe. Good. You can straighten that right leg. Doesn't feel good to straighten your right leg. Kick your weight into your left hip. Reach your fingertips forward, and then bring your hand down towards your mat. Now, I have a shoulder injury, so I'm not going to reach that shoulder up towards the ceiling, but I'm going to roll that left shoulder open. I'm looking up towards the ceiling if that feels good for me. I'm looking straight or down if it doesn't. Bending your right knee, floating your arms back up. You can go into a reverse warrior, taking your left hand to your left leg, right hand palm facing up, and coming into a reverse warrior, still bending into that right knee, looking up towards the ceiling, and then floating your arms back up into a warrior two. Taking your hands down towards the floor so that they frame the front foot. Pivot the left foot back. Giant step back with the right foot. Downward facing dog. You can stay here for a minute. Bend your right knee, bring it forward. No. Bend your left knee. Bring it forward towards your hands. Turn your right foot down. When you're ready, come on up into that warrior two on the opposite side. Try to tuck that tailbone. Press that tailbone down. Pull your belly button in. Bend that left knee. Left knee is going over towards left pinky toe a little bit. Pressing into the outer part of your right foot. Arms are up and relaxed. Left fingertips are reaching forward. Right fingertips are reaching back. You're looking down your arms. Don't forget to breathe. Did you forget to breathe? Right hand to the back of your right leg. Left hand palm facing up into a reverse warrior. Hands back up. Warrior two, straighten the left leg. Kick your weight into your right hip. Reach your left hand forward. Bring it down. Right hand up towards the ceiling. Bend your left knee. Arms back up. Bring your hands down so that they frame your left foot. Pivot your right foot so it faces forward. Giant step forward with your right foot. Hands towards your shins, flat back. Forward fold. Let your head hang heavy. Reverse swan dive. All the way up. Hands down towards your heart. Now I'm kind of rushing through some of these. And you'll find a different experience when you get to the class, but this could just be something for you to watch so you get to be familiar with it. And then pick a few poses that you want to do. Another pose that instructors will do quite often will be a chair pose where you bend your knees and you reach your arms up and stand up. Bring your hands down towards your heart. Inhale your arms up nice and tall. You do a lot of this. Exhale, forward fold. Hands towards your shins, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Giant step back with your right foot. Giant step back with your left. Let's come down to your knees. Hips towards your feet and come into a child's pose. Remember that this pose is always available to you. Slowly come up to a seated position. Most classes have a bell curve. Not all of them, but a lot of them do. You start out slow. You build up your momentum. There's usually a challenge point at some point, and then it starts to slow back down, calm you back down. Back to Shavasana. Again, every class has a different flow, but typically you're going to find something like that. As you get towards the end of the class, you'll usually have some more floor work where you're doing some more stretches. Your instructor is going to tell you what to do. The end point, you'll be laying down on your mat in your Shavasana. You could be laying flat. You could have your knees bent. The idea is to try to let go of any thoughts that are running through your mind. doesn't mean that you don't have any thoughts. It just means you don't hold on to them. Let them come and let them go. At the end of class, your instructor will tell you to start bringing some awareness to your body, some awareness to your mind, some awareness to your breath. Some instructors read quotes or poems. Some use chimes or singing bells. Some will end with singing. Some will end with an om. And when they'll do an om, it is voluntary. It's not required of everyone, but they will invite everyone into it. Everyone's eyes are closed. They don't know who's singing what. They don't know who's doing what. So you don't need to feel embarrassed if you are, and you don't need to participate if you're not ready to participate. So what you would do is follow your instructor's guidance, whether your hands are up or your hands are at heart center. And it's spelled O-M, but it's really pronounced A-U-M, aum, aum. It's kind of, I'm exaggerating it. A lot of times instructors will do it 3 times. And everybody starts at different times, and everybody ends at different times, and everybody sounds a little bit different, but it is a really unifying experience. Again, not all instructors do this, but I don't want you to be surprised if you go into a class and they do it. So if you'd like to practice in the comfort of your own home, maybe we'll have your hands palms facing up and your eyes closed. Nice deep breath in, nice deep breath out. On the next inhale, exhale, Om. Now if you notice, I don't have a beautiful singing voice, and that's okay. Some of you will sound better than me. Some of you might sound like me. That's okay. So at the end of class, everybody will kind of wrap up, usually with a namaste. Namaste typically means the light in me sees and honors the light in you. The parts in me that are the same, recognize the parts in you that are the same. And also recognizing that we're all very, very unique as well. At that point, the class starts to wrap up. If you're in a group class environment, you clean your mat, you clean any props that you use, roll up whatever it is that you're using, say your goodbyes to anyone that you wanted to say goodbye to, and enjoy the rest of your day. If you have any questions on what you may or may not experience in a yoga class, or what you feel comfortable with or don't feel comfortable with, please send me a message. I'd be happy to help you. As you can see, I am not a super bendy, flexible yoga person. I've been teaching yoga for about 4 years now, and it's just not where my body is, and that's okay. It doesn't stop me from being a yoga instructor, and it doesn't stop me from being a yogi. There are people that are more flexible than me, and there are people that I'm more flexible than. That is the same for everyone. You're going to get into some classes where the person next to you is able to do the full expression of a stretch, and then the next pose you'll be able to do something that maybe is not as accessible to them. All of our bodies are different. The wonderful part of yoga is when you understand that and you respect that and you appreciate your body for exactly what it is. I'm really grateful to be a part of your yoga journey. I hope that I've helped you at this point to find some confidence to step out onto a mat and try a yoga class. As we're recording this, we're in unique times and we're not able to have classes in the studio, so I'm hoping to help you in your home right now. Someday, when we are able to open, I'd love to meet you, I'd love to have you join our classes, and I'd love to answer any questions that you might have. Until I get to see you in person, I'll see you on the screen. Namaste.